Hi. There we go. I almost forgot to turn on the microphone. If I didn't turn on the microphone, you wouldn't hear anything. I'd just be, this is what the show would look like. But instead, now it's on and everything will be fine. It's episode 257. Where did I put my clipboard? There it is. Episode 257, correct, of Riter Radio. It is also game day. And by game day, I mean trivia day. And by trivia, I mean Brain Vault, and I mean live at the Kaz. Tickets available at thekazbuffalo.com. It is presented by Buffalo Trim, which has me looking much fancier than I did 2 weeks ago. And I'll look a lot fancier tonight, too. We don't do hoodies. We do sport coats. We do suits. We do that kind of stuff on the stage. I do anyway. Tim Graham will be with me on stage as well. Again, tickets at thekazbuffalo.com. And they're running a promotion where if you buy however many tickets you buy for tonight's show, you end up with a code that you can use to buy that, or to just get that number of tickets again. So it's kind of like a 2-for-1. You're buying tonight, and then that affords you the opportunity to attend a future show as well. So pretty cool deal, pretty good deal. I'm glad that they worked that out, because honestly, I just want people there. I don't need a full house yet. I don't need, I don't want to overthink it. I just want people to be able to come. And so getting you 2 tickets for the price of 1 is pretty good. I still haven't figured out what happened to my logo that's in the, right there, how it's all squished. It used to be this shape, and now it's this shape. It was emphasized or something. So I'm still a little annoyed by that, but not enough that I'm going to do anything about it. I'm going to spend no time thinking about it. And someday it'll occur to me, oh yeah, I have to unclick this, or whatever it is. It'll be fine. I woke up today. Oh my God, I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning, which if you're familiar with me at all, that is not a time that I'm usually awake whatsoever. But I was asleep by 10:30, and then I just woke up due to natural causes. It wasn't like, usually it's kids running around or yelling or arguing with each other or slamming doors or something that will make me get up earlier than I planned. Not today. Today was nothing at all. I just woke up, and then I was really hungry, and I asked my wife, what did we have for dinner yesterday? Because I woke up starving. And she's like, we didn't have dinner yesterday. I said, oh, well, that explains it. Because we had basketball we had a game at 5 o'clock, a school game, and then I had to leave there a little early to get to our basketball practice that we had at 7 o'clock. So I was in Amherst first, and then I was in Cheektowaga for that, or Williamsville, whatever, and then Cheektowaga. And then I came home, and I turned on TV, and I fell asleep. And then I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning. And then, when I was still awake at like 7:30, I thought, this is bad, because I've got a show to do at 10, and then I've got a show to do tonight, and I've got prep stuff I have to do between this show and that one. I still have to edit today's show and get it online after we complete it right around noon. I'll be a zombie on stage if I don't sleep at some point. So I did end up going back to sleep for maybe 45 minutes or something like that, and then got up at 9:30 again, and I got rolling with the show. So that's where we are. I think it's important for you to know that, so you know that you're getting the I've been awake for 5.5 hours version of me right now, which you don't normally get at 10 o'clock in the morning. I don't get up at 5. I don't know who that's for. That said, I was texting with people. Did you know that you could do that? Did you know that you can send and receive text messages at like 6:15 in the morning on a weekday? People are awake, and I get it. People have jobs and go to schools and banks and things, and so they're awake. But I will say, don't ever expect, if you're sending me a message at 6:17 a.m., don't ever expect that I'm going to reply to you before noon. Because I'm not. Well, maybe around 9. Maybe. But legit, I was having full-on conversations with people who nobody even brought it up. Nobody even said, man, this is weird. texting at 6:15 in the morning. Maybe it's not weird to regular people, but it's super weird to me, and I'm not usually involved in conversations at that time of day, so don't plan on it, all right? Today we've got a guest, and it's a regular guest, a different guest. I don't know why I feel the need to do this, but we recorded it yesterday because it's just the way that it worked out. But it's our first Super Bowl. It's Super Bowl week. I don't know that we mentioned. I guess with Scott yesterday we mentioned the Super Bowl, but Super Bowl is coming up, and I'm way more interested in what the Bills are doing with their coaching staff than I am in the game that's going to be played on Sunday. I do strongly believe that the Seahawks are going to run over the Patriots, and I'm looking forward to that. But if it doesn't happen, it does not change my life. Drake May winning the Super Bowl before Josh Allen wins the Super Bowl will not have any impact on our lives. It won't. It feels like it's an annoying thing, and I'm going to have annoying conversations with literally one person, our good friend Mike O'Brien, who's our senior Boston correspondent, and he's a comic, so he makes jokes anyway. But that's what I'm thinking of is I don't want Mike's team to win a Super Bowl, but it's not about Drake May. It's about Mike. So during their run of 20 years of near invincibility with Brady and Belichick there, it got to a point where any year where the Patriots won the Super Bowl felt like there just wasn't one, because it wasn't somebody getting over on the Bills. It wasn't somebody new, I should say, getting over on the Bills. So, I really didn't want the Bengals to win, because just for me personally, as a fan of Buffalo sports, as a fan of Josh Allen, I don't want any fuel given to the argument about Burrow being this or that. If the Patriots beat the Seahawks on Sunday, I think it's pretty unlikely that it's because the Patriots have a better quarterback than the Bills. So I kind of don't care. I care. I don't want Mike to have fodder for discussion. I wanted badly for them to get knocked out 2 weeks ago. I already had the AFC East Champions t-shirt screenshotted, ready to send to Mike as soon as the Patriots got eliminated. But it didn't happen. So now they're AFC champions, and I guess I can find an AFC champions thing to send to him, ideally at halftime of this game on Sunday. That's kind of the direction I'm hoping it goes. But I'm not going to let it bother me too much. I think I've gotten pretty good at being a fan. Every year ends in disappointment, but I'm super used to it, and we all should be at this point. I don't plan on I can't even picture the parade. Yet I still expect it every year on a certain level, but I think I'm in the right place. I think I'm in the right place mentally. Part of it is just, I've been through so much of it. I've seen it forever. But I don't know. I didn't feel gutted when they lost the playoff game. As poorly as things went. Josh Allen's up there crying. The coach has been fired. All kinds of stuff has happened in the last couple of weeks with the team, and I'm all right with that. I'm still all right, well, they should be good next year. Hope they win it next year. So I'm all right. And the Patriots, if they are to beat the Seahawks, just let's decide together that it is not a knock on our team that team wins. That team didn't beat your team. It did once during the regular season. I know that. But they edged you out for the division. That's all right. Their schedule's awesome. Did you see their schedule for next year? I'm going to bring that up. Yeah, they're not in my head at all. Hear how much they're not in my head? We're 5 days away from the game, and all I'm thinking about is they're going to suck next year. They'll see. But check this out. New England Patriots 2026 opponents. A lot of talk about them having a super easy schedule this year, and it's true. But then look at this one. Patriots next year. Just open. All right, they've got home games against Bills, Dolphins, Jets, Broncos, Raiders, Packers, Vikings, Steelers. And then they're on the road at Buffalo, Miami, the Jets, Bears, Lions, Chiefs, Chargers, Seahawks, Jaguars. So all the playoff teams, basically. And then the ones that should have been that aren't. The Chiefs. We expect the Chiefs to be a playoff team. The Lions, we expected to be a really good team. They were all right, but I would expect them to be super competitive again next year. The Jets are a joke. You get 2 wins against the Jets. That's fine. But outside of the division, the road trips are Bears, Lions, Chiefs, Chargers, Seahawks, Jaguars. So enjoy your week. If you're a Patriots fan, enjoy your game, in theory, and then get ready for some reality to kick in next year. I don't think they're going to just go away, but that is not a 14-win type of team. And it's not, to me, a team that should be playing for the Super Bowl, but it is. And I'll watch, and I'll root against them. But it doesn't ruin our lives. That's it. I'm here it's like a therapy type of thing for sports fans in Western New York. They don't own us. They don't control us. We control us. I like the Joe Brady idea. I don't know if it came from his press conference or his interview on the Pat McAfee show, but the basic concept is they have to worry about us. Other teams have to worry about us. We're not worried about who we're playing. They have to deal with the Bills, and that's kind of how I'm approaching it too. Every week, ooh, this is gonna be a tough opponent. Yeah, you know who else is a tough opponent? The Bills. I wouldn't want to go against them. I wouldn't want to go against Josh. A reloaded receiving room. Whatever that means, whatever that ends up being, I'm excited. So we got 1 game left in the football season. This weekend did feel pretty empty with no football. No college, no pro. First weekend since August where we didn't have that. We had hockey. The Sabres won again. Let's look at the standings. Standings are fun these days. NHL standings. Victory on the road last night in Sunrise, Florida. I think they take on Tampa tomorrow. I don't think that's today. I think that's tomorrow. All right, where are we? I want these standings. You visit often. Yeah, I'm going to click that one. I do visit often. Lately. I like to click on wild card, which is where the Sabres are right now. They're the top wild card team. So Tampa, Detroit, Montreal are all atop the Atlantic Division. The Sabres are 4th in the division, but they're a point out of 3rd, which I like that look when they're up in the top part of the standings instead of the wild card part. So there's 3 from the Atlantic, 3 from the Metro, and then wild card. Sabres have 69 points. Boston has 68. The next team down from there has 63. And they've played 2 more games than Buffalo. It's the Washington Capitals. They've played 57 games. They've got 63 points. Sabres have played 2 fewer games and have 6 more points. So they're pretty, if they keep playing this way, obviously things are going to go well. And they're going to be fine. We don't really even have to think about standings. But I want to see them back up at the top, and they can be as soon as tomorrow. They've got a game in hand on Montreal, and they're a point behind Montreal. And they're earning more than a point a game. So I'm comfortable with where they're sitting and everything that's been going on with that team. I was just thinking about it. I don't want to bug Paul Hamilton too much. I like having him on. And I feel like I just had him on. But I didn't just have him on. I had him on when they had won 3 games. And they brought in a new general manager. And he, in that moment, was like, they got to get this to like 10 games to get back in the thick of things. And they got it to exactly 10 games before they lost again. And then they just kept going and going and going. So it's, they lost 1, then they won 3. Then they lost 1, they won 2. Lost 2, won 5. Lost 1, won 1. They play 2, 3. Oh, they do play today. They play tonight, 7:30 at Tampa on ESPN Plus and Hulu. Does that mean not MSG? Because not MSG games are the games that I get. I like non-MSG games. Could be helpful. TNT is good. I know TNT I get, but they're forcing me to rethink my television situation. I don't want to switch again. Everybody likes YouTube TV. It's very smooth. The DVR is fantastic. Anything you want, it knows I like the Bills, so it just records all the Bills stuff. It's all there. I don't want to switch from that. But the hockey team's watchable. I don't know what people do. I don't know what people who have YouTube TV do if they want to watch hockey. Best thing about football being over is we're closer to baseball. That's true. It is February. When are pitchers and catchers? That's got to be now. Pitchers, catchers, report. When? Report date 2026. Let's find out. Doing this together. A week from today. Tuesday, February 10th. All right. 10th through 13th. Pitchers and catchers report. 20th. 2 weeks from today, Grapefruit and Cactus League games begin. So 2 weeks from today, baseball's on TV. Okay. I can see the light. Because I've been seeing a lot of baseball, but it's not the kind that I want to see. Like, I appreciate that indoor leagues exist for the purposes of getting through Buffalo winter. But I want to see baseball without a roof, without pop flies being called foul balls because they hit a girder. And we're getting there. We're 2 weeks away. That's fantastic. All right. What are we going to do today? So I've been saying for a while, I hate Tuesdays. I hate Tuesday shows. And then now what I've done is added a bigger, better, louder, flashier, well-lit, real live show Tuesday nights, which makes Tuesday morning even more of a nuisance, if you will. Every Monday I'm fired up to do a show, and I just do an hour, and then Scott's on, and that's great because we've got a whole weekend of stuff to recap. This week we had the Grammys. That was cool. And we'll usually get a guest. We'll get Bob gone on, Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday. One of those. I don't think I've heard from him yet this week. Let's check that. Because I would hate to miss Bob if he's planning on. Oh, here he is. I had something move around so I could do today or Thursday at 11. Whatever works best for you. Did someone just breathe new life into Tuesday's show? I think he did. I'm going to write to Bob and say, today is great. Today is great. There we go. All right, so we'll have Bob gone on. How about that? My point is that I don't make any super big promises for the entertainment value of a Tuesday show, and then I made it worse by adding this. This week feels much less stressful in getting set for Brain Vault, because last week it was like, is this going to work? Is this going to work? Now I know what works. I know the things that went wrong. I've corrected. There's no problems. I'm just going to go hang out on a stage with a bunch of people in the crowd and Tim Graham next to me, and we're going to ask some trivia questions. We're going to interview some people in the crowd. They're going to come up and it'll be great. So it's less stressful, but it's still there. Like, I would prefer to turn off the microphone right now and get ready for that show. But I'm committed. I'm going to do this. Because what would I say to, let's say, Brian Janik? Brian Janik, who sponsors the show. You can find him at thefinancialguys.com. 20-plus years as an independent insurance broker. And he's free to deal with. You just look him up online at thefinancialguys.com. Get in touch with him. And you meet with him, and it's free. He gets paid from insurance companies, not from you. So especially if you're approaching 65, you're about to flip to the world of Medicare, Brian's got your back. And your front. He's got all of you, the whole part, the whole you, all of you. He's got you. So I don't do the show, and then I don't say that it's brought to you by Brian Janik, then he gets mad. Can't do that. And we're going to do the show tonight. It's brought to you by Buffalo Trim and the Financial Guys. The whole Financial Guys, not just Brian, the financial guy. The whole damn thing. I have to go to their place at some point and do a show from there. They have 2 separate podcast studios set up that would make this look so much better. I think we're doing better now that I got the wood wall here. It's fine. Oh, I didn't turn on my light again. Does that matter? All right, you guys watch. You're watching right now. This is what it looks like without the light. And then when I turn the light on, it's that. Does that matter? Seems like it does. Seems better. I need more lights. I want more lights. I wanted to buy, I thought I ordered, and this is probably a Temu situation. I thought I ordered a ring light that was like this, but I ordered a ring light that's like this. It's just this little, it's half a pen. It's this big. I'm not going to move it and show it to you, but disappointing. But I think we're doing all right. The Olympics start this week, and I'm once again finding I'm just not going to know what time things are happening, because I look on their official website, and it's telling me times, but they're in Italy. And Milan is 6 hours ahead of us. So I don't know what they mean when they tell me the start times of things. I can't even pinpoint when the opening ceremonies will be, because it said that the Olympics start on the 6th. Today is the 3rd, so the 6th would be Friday. But also, on the same page that told me the Olympics start on the 6th, it was telling me about curling matches that are happening tomorrow, it seems, tomorrow afternoon. And I think that's right that the games start a little bit before the opening ceremony. Like, I think that's normal. I'm trying to remember. But that feels right. Like, they sort of ease into starting. It's not, hey, it's Thursday night and we're doing this thing, and then tomorrow we'll start playing stuff. I think people have arrived, and they're going to be curling tomorrow. Not that curling is number one on my list of things to watch. I watch curling, though. I'm not opposed. It's not thrilling, but it's all right. And that is, I think, starts tomorrow. But I don't understand Milan time. Olympic schedule and results I have open here. Ciao from Milano Cortina, 2026. And it says it's 15:59 in Italy. I opened this half an hour ago or something. So I determined we're 6 hours different. There we go. We refresh. Let's see if it changes the time. Olympic torch relay, schedule and results. Yeah, so this says the 4th, today, alpine skiing, men's downhill first official training at 5:30. Curling at 13:05, Sweden against Korea. Is that today? Is it now? I don't know. I can buy opening ceremony tickets. What do you think those run? Let's find out. Opening ceremony. Hospitality packages. Yes, I'll accept your cookies. Opening ceremony tickets, it says from €260. Is euro still like $2 American? Is it $520 to get into the opening ceremony at the Olympics? That seems pretty pricey. Where they're not even going to compete. There's no competition there. Just people walking around with flags. Tickets. I'm clicking tickets. Ooh, hospitality packages. Friday, 6/2 from 8 o'clock until 11 o'clock. High demand. Is that 8 o'clock our time? Good God. Full price standard, category A, €2,026. You can get that all the way down to, $260 is the lowest. There's a $2,000 package, a $1,400 ticket, not even a package. $2,000 ticket, $1,400 ticket, $700 ticket, and $260 ticket. I think you'd want to be up high anyway, right? It seems like the kind of thing you'd want to observe. Too close, doesn't look as... Why can't I think of a word better than good? Spectacular is what I'm looking at. The spectacle of it, I think you would want a higher observation point. That's, I'm taking a guess. I've never been to the Olympics. Or certainly, I don't even know that I've watched opening ceremony. I just want to see them compete. I want to see stuff happening. I want people going down mountains. I like luge. Bobsleigh. Alpine skiing. Moguls. I like moguls. I like ski jump. Ski jump is fun. Ski jump to me, though, every time I see someone ski jump, I wonder how they did that for the first time. And I think there are like harnesses that can be used for training. But it just seems to me you've either never done it before or you've done it a bunch. But there's that moment where you switch from having never done it to like, yeah, I tried it. And I don't know how you make that leap. Quite literally. To go from, all right, I think I would like to be a ski jumper to ski jumping. Seems like it's just a massive chasm. You know, a kid doesn't know how to ride a bike. And then you help them and you kind of hold it a little bit and you get them going. And then, you know, a couple minutes later, they get it and they're pedaling away. But that makes sense. Like you start sitting still and then you start pedaling and we move a little bit and you're fine. But you're not up at the top of this thing, this contraption that's going to shoot you into the air, even if you've skied your whole life. Switching from skiing to ski jumping seems crazy. I like ski jumping. I like watching it. I'm not going to do it. I'm never going to do it. I think I've had this ski jump thought in my head since going to Lake Placid when I was a kid. And just seeing it, go, well, all right, this thing is cool, but why would you do that? Because I'm looking at it as a kid going, I've never done that, and I'm never going to do that. But at some point you decide, yeah, I'm ready. And then you're just flying. Ah! I wouldn't want to do that. So every day now, I take the show. I record the show. We do the show live. Record the show. And then after the show, I go back and I edit it down, take all the music out of it, and turn it into one chunk. And then I post that on Spotify. Spotify takes that and puts it on YouTube. So if you just go to the YouTube Riter Radio page, there's multiple versions of each show. there just are. There's the leftover live one, because that still sits there. Then there's the edited one that takes the music out, so I keep myself out of trouble. And maybe I should be deleting the live ones. I don't know. When somebody yells at me, I will. But until then, we're fine. So there's that one. But then and I upload it. I save it to my computer. I upload it to Spotify. But then also there's a thing I can click while I'm saving it to the computer to also put it on YouTube. So it goes, there's the full video from the live show. Then there's the video that gets sent to YouTube that doesn't have commercials or songs, I should say, in between. And then there's also the Spotify. Spotify's a video, but it's sending the audio only to YouTube. So it's showing up there as well, I think. So if you're ever looking, you're like, oh, this one doesn't have video. Yes, it does. You clicked on the wrong thing. It's making it very difficult to track how many people are paying attention to what. But, you know, it's out there. It's all out there. I go through that process, and what I've been doing lately is within about an hour of the time that I upload the show to Spotify, a transcript of the show becomes available. So Spotify just listens to the words I said and then types them out, and it's there, and I can cut and paste that. So I cut and paste Spotify's transcript of each episode into ChatGPT, and I say, give me a 2-paragraph show summary. And then once I have that, then I cut and paste that back in and make that the show notes. So it's cool. I like it. Lately, I've been trying to do different thumbnails, because that's, I don't know, one of the stupid little techniques to get more people to click on things or whatever. So rather than just Riter Radio episode 257, I've been using AI to also generate like cartoonish images. And I've only done it for a handful of episodes, but I think they're kind of cool. And they look better than looking at my stupid face. You know, it'll be, a cartoon Joe Brady along with a cartoon Josh Allen or whatever it is, you know. So in addition to the notes, I also ask it to give me 10 suggested headlines for the thing so that I'm not just writing episode 257. Instead, I'm writing, the stream died, so I became a green screen ghost. I didn't say that. I didn't use that one. Drew won MVP in a 12-0 loss. The Sabres feel alive again, and Buffalo noticed. Why am I saying achoo to nobody? Every pair of his underwear was pre-owned. Bruno Mars should run the Super Bowl. Cher was on another planet. The Grammys did her dirty. It gives all these suggestions of things that they're pulled from the show, and then they suggest. The one I chose today is, my 9-year-old is better than me at chess, and it hurts. I told the story yesterday, but real quickly, I don't enjoy playing against him in chess anymore. He plays every day at school, and he's just better than I am at the game. So I no longer, there's no shame in it, but I can't make a mistake because he pounces every time. The second, I'll sit there for 5 minutes to make a move, and I'll move something, and then he'll just take my bishop because I just walked into his trap. He's setting traps, and I'm getting destroyed. So I played him. I don't want to just deny him the opportunity to beat the crap out of me in chess every day, but I kind of do. Like, I don't just sit there. Like, he beats me, and I don't sit there and go, I need another chance, because I'm planning on losing again. And it's a little rough. So I thought that was an appropriate one to use for the thumbnail. Use for the headline. The headline, my 9-year-old is better than me at chess, and it hurts. So I had it mock up a thumbnail with that headline. And it says exactly those words. My 9-year-old is better than me at chess, and it hurts. And then it's got a picture of a guy. Now, these are AI people. There's a chessboard. There's a toppled king. There's a kid. Looks about 9. Definitely looks like he could be one of Drew's friends. Doesn't look anything like Drew, but he looks like one of his buddies. He's got a backwards hat on. He's smiling. And then the dad, I'm going to try to emulate the picture of the dad. Hold on. He's got his hoodie is, I don't know, blue or green or something. But he's got a hood up. His hand is on his head like this. And he's making this face. And the reason I'm telling you this story is that I typed in, create thumbnail for episode 256 with headline, my 9-year-old is better than me at chess and it hurts. And right before generating the picture, it said, we're so sorry, but the image we created may violate our guardrails around acceptable depictions of teens and children. If you think we got it wrong, please retry or edit your prompt. And then it did exactly the thing that I asked it to do. I mean, it doesn't look like me and it doesn't look like my kid, but it's a happy, it's labeled Chess Showdown Mentor versus Prodigy. But I'm just trying to figure out, like, what, I'm going to ask it what it means. What do you mean by that? What does this mean? We are so sorry, but the image we create, there's nothing violating anything. There's such a sensitivity around kids online. And I get that, and that should exist. But this is a kid who doesn't exist, a guy who doesn't exist, and we're just pretending that they just played chess. What does it violate? What on earth could possibly violate guardrails in this photo? Seems fine. And then we'll see what it says. I cut and pasted what they had already written. We're so sorry, but the image we created may violate our guardrails around acceptable depictions of teens and children. And I said, what on earth could possibly violate guardrails in this photo? Seems fine. It's thinking. All right, what do you got? Answer me. Come on, AI. You're better than this. Why is it so slow? This is how slowly I think. If we're going with artificial intelligence, it should be faster. My natural intelligence is slow. Artificial, there's just a blinking thing on the screen. I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I get why that feels maddening. On its face, the idea is totally wholesome, and your intent is clearly fine. What tripped the system isn't anything you did wrong. It's how the automated safety filters are blunt and overly conservative when kids appear in images. Here's what likely triggered it, even though it shouldn't feel controversial. What probably caused the rejection? A recognizable child plus expressive emotion plus implied defeat or humiliation. Phrases like is better than me and it hurts can be interpreted by automated systems as emotional distress, power imbalance, or a child being framed as dominating or humiliating an adult. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with a kid my kid humiliating me? I made him. I made a better chess player. I combined DNA with somebody else, my wife, and we made a kid who could play chess. The other thing for what probably caused rejection, realistic depiction of a minor. Even fully clothed, the hell? Innocent images of kids can get flagged if, keep in mind, ChatGPT wrote the headline. I talked about my kid beating me in chess. ChatGPT listened to the whole show. It was like, you know what the headline should be? Your 9-year-old's better than you are at chess. And then it's like, whoa, we got a problem with this headline. You wrote the headline. Even fully clothed, innocent images of kids can get flagged if the scene looks emotionally charged, the kid is center stage with an adult reacting strongly. Again, you gave me the headline and you made the picture. Another possibility here. The system does not understand context or humor. It doesn't know this is dad humor, self-deprecation, Riter Radio tone. It just sees child plus adult distress plus bold headline. Importantly, this is not about sexualization. Yeah, right. Very much is not. This is not about violence. This is not a judgment on appropriateness. It's just an overcautious classifier doing what overcautious classifiers do. Then it goes on to how we fix it. Make the kid clearly cartoon/illustrated. Well, that's what I wanted anyway. This is the best option for YouTube anyway. Cartoon dad, cartoon kid, exaggerated expressions, chessboard, and fallen king. Yeah, do that. Don't show the child's face. It's not a real child. You invented the child. The over-the-shoulder angle, kid shown from behind or cropped at chin. Focus on chessboard and your reaction. Option 3, implied kid, not pictured. Empty chair, chessboard, mid-game. Caption bubble like, checkmate, dad. Your reaction does the storytelling. My recommended for CTR and safety, not positive what CTR is, but that's all right. Cartoon versions of both of you. It fits your brand better, matches the chaos and comedy vibe, avoids all moderation weirdness, pops harder at thumbnail size. If you want it, say the word, and I'll redesign the thumbnail cartoon only, lock it to 1920 by 1080, keep the headline punchy, add subtle Riter Radio branding, make it look intentionally YouTube, not stock image. You weren't out of bounds. The system just has zero chill. All right, I'm going to do all those things that it just said. Redesign thumbnail, cartoon only. Lock it to 1920 by 1080, which it never does, by the way. All the good stuff that AI can do, it never gets the size right on the thumbnail. I have to generate a thumbnail and then go modify it in something else. Stupid. All right, let's redesign. I hit send or hit enter, and then I will close this window. Not even close the window, but cover that window up and get on with our lives. And then the next time I go to look for it, it'll be there. Clarence neighbors seek injunction to halt Tim Hortons project. What do you think they're working on? Probably building another coffee shop? Oh, I'm not going to be able to read this whole story. Never mind. Harris Hill residents have filed a court petition to stop a Tim Hortons development, claiming the drive-through layout would force traffic through their neighborhood. Yeah, that's what they do. They just opened a Starbucks near my house, like right on the outskirts of my neighborhood. And my wife tried to, she was like community, whatever. She attended a planning board meeting or something, and she thought there were going to be all these other people there to say, no, don't put a Starbucks right in our neighborhood, please. And nobody else was there. It was just her, and she lost. And so my son's already been there. It just opened on Friday. And one of my kids went in there on the way home from school because they walked to school, and now they walk right past the Starbucks, which I think is fine most of the time, but seems terrible that they're walking right where a drive-through is in the morning on their way to school at 8 o'clock in the morning. I would imagine. I mean, they built it so that like 15 cars can be in line at the same time off the road. And maybe that's good enough. But it just seemed bad. It seemed like a bad idea to put a drive-through coffee place right in the middle of the walk to school. So I feel you, Harris Hill residents. You don't want Tim Hortons getting in your way. But there's a Starbucks. It can't be a quarter mile from this new one. And there are no signs of it going away. So now we've got two of them. I mean, I would say it's certainly walking distance. My son, my oldest son, walks to the other one all the time. And now there's Starbucks on his way to Starbucks. This is not as bad, I guess, as my old house where we used to live, where if I was standing in my backyard, I could see two different Tim Hortons, one on Union Road and one on the corner of William and Union. But I could see them both. It looked like across the creek. There was one inside of a gas station, and then there was a freestanding one right across Union from where we lived. And I thought that was crazy. But also, around that same time, I don't know why I would say, around that same time, there was a Sunoco across the street from a Sunoco. And it made no sense, except it made all the sense in the world, because depending on what direction you were coming from, there was like no way to get at one of them. You follow? So if you're coming up William, it's easy. You stop at the one on the right. If you're coming from Union, you turn and then go into the one. Well, I guess that would also be on the right. The one across the street. The traffic was so bad that it made sense to have two of the same business across the street from each other. That made sense to me. But seeing Tim Hortons from two different spots, or in two different spots from my backyard, was odd. All right, I'm going to play a song, and then Bob will be here. How's that? Does that work? CTR click-through rate. Thank you, Nick and Depew. This is the kind of stuff I should know about, right? If I'm doing a show online? Probably. All right, what do we want here? Yeah.
The way my kids date now, it's so simple. They go on an app, whether it's Grindr or whatever, they swipe right, swipe left, and they get the date automatically.
Let's check in with Riter Radio's
Living Legend,
Bob Gaw.
I was lamenting the fact that I was without a guest today. And I said, Bob comes on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. I haven't heard from him. And I look at my phone, and I heard from him, and he said, I can do today. And I said, hell yeah. So we've got Bob Gaughan live on the phone. What's up, Bob Gaughan?
Hey, how are you, Brad?
I'm good. I'm excited.
Good?
I'm excited to speak with you.
I am as well. You know what else I'm excited? I come into work today. This is again my opinion of something that doesn't matter, but I have a strong opinion on.
Okay.
One of my the people that I work with is selling Girl Scout cookies.
Okay.
Do you have an opinion?
I sure do.
On what is the best? Yeah, of course you do. But I think there's a right answer here.
There is.
What is the best Girl Scout cookie according to Brad Riter? I think that there is a answer to this question. And I think there's a couple wrong answers to this opinion question, which is most importantly, right?
Yeah.
See, you and I are on the same page. We
100%.
can ask an opinion question, and then when somebody gives an answer that we think is stupid,
They're
we
wrong.
could criticize them.
Yeah.
They're wrong,
Yeah.
and they're saying, well, you asked me an opinion question, and I said, of course I asked you an opinion question, and you got it wrong.
Yep.
I mean, go ahead.
Well, the one that I it's no-brainer to me, but they changed the name. So I'm not positive what it's called right now, but it used to be called the Samoa. It's the coconut caramel chocolates combo thing that for me is far and away number one on the top of the list. I am partial to those lemony things also. Anything else I would say is the wrong answer.
Okay, the lemon is my second choice. I love.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of lemon.
Yeah.
Big fan of lemon. Mine, it used to be called tagalongs. The peanut butter cookies.
Oh, those are delicious.
The peanut butter.
There's something better about those than other peanut butter cookies. I will say that. That's a good answer. I said everything else is wrong. That crossed my mind, but to me, now this applied more before all these cookies were just available in other stores, because you can go to Walmart and spend $1.29 and get the equivalent of the $6 Girl Scout cookies. It's quite the racket they've got going. I don't even know if that's the right price right now, but is that about right? Like $6 a box?
They're $6 a box.
All right,
yes.
so $6 a box. You can get 5 packages of, I don't know what they're called at Walmart, but you can Caramel Delights or something that are perfectly replicating the Girl Scout Samoa, which is now called something else too. So I don't know. How many boxes did you buy?
I think there's the same thing too. I think they have a similar thing over there.
Yeah.
I kind of they come to me first because they know I'm going to buy a good amount. But in my defense, I'm buying for 2 households. I buy for the kids too.
Right.
So I bought 10.
10 boxes.
10
Look at you. Wow.
Yes. And the majority of those were the lemon and the peanut butter.
Okay.
Yeah, so just $60, right here, just easy come, easy go.
You're a good customer.
But yes, the Girl Scouts always come to me, whether it's chocolate around Easter time or they know I'm an easy mark.
Well, let me ask you this: you're buying from somebody at work, so I'm guessing that your coworker is not a Girl Scout. This is what's been bothering me with all of the baseball stuff we do. We've got kids on 2 travel baseball teams. Travel baseball costs a lot of money. And we go to tournaments, we go out of town, they're just round after round of fundraising, whether it's football squares or basketball squares or all that stuff. But it's never my kids selling it. Like when I was a kid, when I played Little League Baseball, they gave us, you registered, they gave you these raffle tickets. And if I went out and I sold, and I would go door to door in my neighborhood selling these raffle tickets, and if I sold $40 worth of raffle tickets, I would get a red jacket, like a league jacket. But I had to do it. It wasn't my parents taking raffle tickets to work and selling them to friends. It was me going and selling it. Now my kids, and granted, it's easier now that there's Facebook and stuff, but every time there's football squares, my kids don't have anything to do with it. It's me begging my friends for money and then having to deal with all of it. I feel like the kids should have to do some work. I feel like that Girl Scout should sell the Girl Scout cookies, not the Girl Scouts' parents selling Girl Scout cookies.
Right. I think now the one thing I'm happy with, because there was years, this coworker kind of has a market at the job. Because for years there wasn't anybody selling Girl Scout cookies. Now, if there ever were 2 people selling Girl Scout cookies, then I would have to worry about, do I have to buy 5 from one, 5 from the other, or do I just pick the coworker I like the best and just buy 10 from that person, right? I mean, but at this particular time, there were a couple of years where there were no. So now this coworker just comes in, puts it at the front desk, and I don't think she might, but I don't think her daughter has to do anything else.
Oh.
I mean, she could. I mean, I'm not saying she's not going around the neighborhood, but I think that there's enough that are sold here at work that she doesn't have to if she didn't want to.
Yeah.
So you're right.
The system's broken. The system's broken.
The system is broken. The kids don't do anything. The parents do everything now.
Sucks.
That is absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
And then the kids try and justify it. It's like me shoveling. Did I tell you how great my kids are when it comes to shoveling?
Well, I mean, we talked about how your corner neighbor, they're like in cahoots and making whatever, and that you have to do like 4 houses.
No, this is better. So we have a big snowblower, and the kids love to snowblow. So whenever it requires snowblowing, they do it.
Okay.
But it, 9 times out of 10, it doesn't require snowblowing, right?
And that's you.
But no, here's how great I raise my kids. They justify it by saying, Dad, you do need a little more exercise in your life, don't you? And I'm like, yeah, well, I do. That's true. I mean, it's not wrong.
Yeah,
they're not wrong by saying that.
No, they got you.
But they're saying, we're doing you a favor by not shoveling.
Keeping you active.
We are helping. Yes, we are helping you. You should. And they say, no need to thank us. No need. I mean, but in all honesty, we're doing you a big favor by not shoveling and allowing you to shovel to get your exercise that you need more of. Thanks a lot, kids. I mean, they're really the best.
They're hooking you up.
Really the best. But it does. It goes in line with the Girl Scout, right? The kids don't do anything anymore.
No, not at all. My kids don't do anything at all. Nothing. Literally nothing.
All right.
And they get mad at me when I want them to clean their room. It's like, you made the mess in all these other rooms that we're cleaning. I didn't have anything to do with the one you made in your room, and now I can't walk in there. So take care of it, please. They're on that. They're not great at it, but they do accept cleaning their own rooms as their job. They just don't do it often enough.
It is. No, it's amazing. The way we were raised is not the way we raised our kids.
No.
I'll say that.
No, stinks.
Not at all.
All right. What else is going on?
Well, let's go with why don't we start off with the death of journalism? And I want to go in actually two of the stories. One, the Belichick not making it into the Hall of Fame. And the way it was covered was just so poorly, because they just all went to this was a nuanced argument here. Okay? The way it happens, but they don't. I think we don't do a good job of explaining. We just, outrage. Oh, how could Bill Belichick not be put in the Hall of Fame? Without explaining how the system has changed over the years and how this actually could have happened, that kind of makes sense.
Yep.
So here's what happened. So, and again, if people out there don't know, my brother was on the committee for years, so I kind of know how it works. First of all, the way it used to work is they would meet on the Saturday before the Super Bowl. Okay? Now here's one death of journalism. A lot of people don't send people anymore. Okay? A lot of newspapers, they don't send people, so they started doing it remotely around COVID time. Okay? And that was one of the reasons why, well, if you saw a story, again, related story, the Washington Post is thinking Jeff Bezos obviously doesn't make enough money. You don't buy enough Amazon packages. So they're doing away with their sports department of the Washington Post. But there are a lot of newspapers around the country that don't send people. So they stopped doing it that Saturday before the Super Bowl. And it used to be just the 32 writers that covered the 32 football teams. Okay? Now they think, well, now there was a bias. There was a bias between these 32 writers. So now we have to add in national writers, and we have to add in Bill Polians and Tony Dungy's. Of course, now they're finding out that, hey, you know what? Bill Polian and Tony Dungy have an axe to grind against Bill Belichick. You know what I mean? So they have just as many axes to grind as the reporters do. But that is one way that they changed it. Then they used to be, there would just be 6 people that get inducted, and that would lump Ralph Wilson in with Joe Montana. Well, the Ralph Wilsons of the world were never getting voted in because people always voted in the players rather than them. So they decided to make them a separate category, and they decided to make the Veterans Committee a separate category. And it used to be thumbs up or thumbs down. Okay, that's all it was. Here are the 2 people that the veterans, thumbs up or thumbs down. Well, they were always getting thumbs up because I figured, Brad, if you did all this research that said that X deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, I probably agree with you.
Sure.
Okay? Well, now they're deciding that there's too many. Now the ceremony's going on too long. So they have 5 people lumped together in veterans and coaches and owners. So it was Kraft and it was Belichick, along with Kenny Anderson, Elsie Greenwood, and Roger Craig. So, and you could only vote for 3.
Right.
You can only vote for 3 out of 5. So it wasn't thumbs up or thumbs down. So it is somewhat reasonable for someone to think, Brad, you have a vote, and say, well, if I really want Roger Craig in or Elsie Greenwood, this is my one chance to get Elsie Greenwood or Roger Craig in. There's no way. Belichick's getting in sooner or later.
Sure.
Belichick's not, if he's not getting in this year, he's getting in next year. But I think that I want to vote for Elsie Greenwood, Roger Craig, and Kenny Anderson because they're not getting in. If I don't vote for them, they're not getting in.
Right.
That's kind of what happened. But instead of explaining that this actually did kind of make sense because maybe the system is broken, everybody just felt outraged, like, how could Bill Belichick not be in the Hall of Fame? And again, it's the journalism that was not done to explain. This does kind of make sense.
And you factor in that there are 50 votes that happened there, and he didn't get 80% of them. So everything you're saying is a part of it, but also it was not a slam dunk 100%. It wasn't close. It's not like he got 95% of the vote and he's not getting in. He got less than 80%, in part because of the system you're talking about, because people are saying this is the last possible chance for Roger Craig to be a Hall of Famer, and I want him in, and I'm going to do that at the expense of I could see picking all three of those players and saying, no, of these guys, I want the ones that aren't going to have another chance and the ones who actually played the game. I can see how all of it makes sense, and it made sense to so many people that, you're talking about Polian having an axe to grind, although he claims he was in favor of Belichick getting in. Regardless, he wasn't alone. It was at least 11 of the 50 people who voted who did not name Belichick on their ballot. So that to me is not crazy. The other thing, though, who's the snitch? Like, this information's not supposed to be out. You want to talk about death of journalism? You're in there reporting on the secret meeting that you had regarding this committee and regarding the Hall of Fame. Like, that to me is a little bit crazy, and I'd be pretty unhappy if I were sitting in that room and this information got out. We didn't find out who's getting in. We only found out one guy that isn't, and that, again, that's axe to grind type of stuff. That's death of journalism type of stuff too.
And my one problem with Polian is he didn't remember the three people he voted for. Either he's senile or he's lying. Come on. He knew who he voted for, and he knew he didn't vote for him.
Yeah.
I would have had more respect for him if he said, listen, you guys don't remember. And, of course, everybody in Buffalo thought New England was the biggest cheaters in the world. I mean, come on.
Right.
How many years were you on a talk show? Everybody talking about that. And now people are outraged that he has to sit out 1 year. Do you remember what actually happened with Spygate? They burned the tapes. It was pretty bad, right? Anytime the NFL burns the tapes, tells me it wasn't really good. And the Super Bowl that we were at, that New Orleans Super Bowl with the Rams and the Patriots, you do have to remember this, and I don't think many people do, but after the game, and this might even a couple of years after, Warner and Falk said that they ran a play at the goal line that they had never run before, that they put in for this game, and it required Falk to go in motion. They're at the goal line, Falk goes in motion, and Teddy Bruschi calls the play out. And Falk and Warner looked at came to the sideline, obviously was unsuccessful, and they said, this stinks. Something's wrong here. Yeah. And they all got together. I mean, right, it was then and there where Martz, Falk, and Warner knew something was up because they had ran a play that they had never run before. So let's not just pretend like it wasn't that bad. It was pretty bad.
And I remember that week I had John Clayton on live at the Radio Row, and the first thing I had him as a weekly guest at that time, and the first thing I asked him was, do the Patriots have a chance in this game? And his answer was no. Like, straight up, John Clayton, the late, great John Clayton, gave me a one-word answer to, can this team compete? The answer was no, and then suddenly they know the play. So, yeah, it doesn't hurt me at all to have Belichick wait a year to get into the Hall of Fame, or wait 2 years or 5 years or 10 years. In a world where the Baseball Hall of Fame doesn't have any of the best players that I remember during my lifetime, and also doesn't have Pete Rose, and also doesn't have Shoeless Joe, Belichick having that stink attached to him over the course of his entire tenure with the Patriots justifies him having to wait a little bit, because we're not just going to now say that all of those Super Bowls are legit. I still feel like there's dirty stuff going on there. We've heard all sorts of stories about things happening at Gillette Stadium that shouldn't be happening, and views of things that shouldn't be there, and cameras that shouldn't be there. And it's gone on for years. So having to pay a little bit of a price by waiting, to me, is not the end of the world at all. I kind of like it.
But you know who, by going back to putting people like Bill Polian on the committees, you know who is in the Baseball Hall of Fame? Because he had his buddy Harold Baines.
Oof.
Ridiculous. You know why Harold Baines is in? Because he had Tony La Russa. Tony La Russa was on the Veterans Committee, and Tony La Russa loved Harold Baines because he had played for him. So Harold Baines gets in the Hall of Fame. There is no one, maybe the worst person in the Baseball Hall of Fame. I don't care how many hits he had. I never pissed around Harold Baines. But by putting Tony La Russa on the Veterans Committee, you're going to get his buddy in the Hall of Fame, and that's why Harold Baines is in. And that just goes to show you, it's, I guess no system is perfect, but I laugh at, we had to, the 32 writers were not good enough, and we have to put people like Polian and Dungy in, and not just to jump on those, but why are we putting both those guys in? To me, their votes are the same. But anyway, that's that. Hey, more Death of Journalism, by the way. You know me for two things. You know me for, and I want to talk about this, where this story went about UB and gambling, right? There was a story a couple of weeks ago that involved, I think it was 37 players, 20 got arrested, and 17 basketball teams, and that story has just gone away. And I want to analyze, again, the death of journalism. Why has that happened? Okay? There's a gambling scandal that just totally goes away. And I think I know why. And that is that no one has an incentive to cover it anymore because everybody is kind of in bed with the gambling people, right? So the UBs of the world and the teams that are all involved always wanted that story to go away. So that's not the thing. That hasn't changed. But I think what has changed is a couple of things. I think there's no shows like Outside the Lines anymore. And there's no shows like Real Sports anymore. When Brian Gumbel and Bob Lee retired, those shows could have continued, but they didn't continue. And so stories like this just go away because ESPN is in bed with the gambling organizations, and the people that they are in bed with, like the NBA and the NFL, all want these stories to go away. So isn't it ironic? I just think what other stories are going away? This is the way I think. Like stories like nobody has an incentive to cover. That's kind of a big story that involved so many different, really the whole country, right?
Of course.
And it just fades away. Nobody's covering it whatsoever. And I'm just thinking, like, okay, this story goes away. There must be other stories that everybody wants to fade away that just fades away as well,
Like Epstein?
Yeah, right. No, there's no incentive to cover it, and we just listen. We used to, when we talk about like the death of newspapers, there is you used to cover like every board. I don't know. Can't you imagine? You're in West Seneca, I'm in Tonawanda. That somewhere along the lines, at some point, that there is some shady deal that's being done at the West Seneca, board,
sure,
between some brother-in-law and somebody that's on the board, and it's not going to be covered anymore. And there was this, this is such a better era because everybody's a journalist because they have a phone. No, everybody isn't a journalist. It's not. It doesn't. Just because you have a phone doesn't make you a journalist. And I just see stories like this going away and more stories just not being covered, and that's why I kind of worry about where we're going.
Yeah, no doubt. Like, I just looked it up. I just typed in college basketball gambling scandal, thinking, all right, it went away, but there've got to be some stories about it. Nope. January 15th, the two most recent things that I find were when it was announced. ESPN had a story about it. The Department of Justice had a story about it. January 15th. Today is February 3rd. Nothing since then about any of it.
Right.
So that's a little crazy. And I remember the story broke while I was doing a show, and I started sifting through and was like, just let me not see Buffalo. Let me not see, there's UB. And then I thought, this is going to be terrible. What a disaster for, a team that has turned things around, and the program is kind of heading in the right direction. And, you're doing the games on the radio. Like there's some real juice in the arena again. And I thought, this is going to be bad. And there was a brief statement from athletic director Mark Allnut, and then no one has said another word about it since. The UB one was even weird because there were two players named, and then there was an unnamed player for some reason. And I thought, when that name comes out, that's going to be it. But no one's pursuing it. It doesn't exist. The story's gone.
Well, there was, because I assume there were 20 players arrested. There were 37 players involved. So I assume the 17 players that were not named ratted on the 20 players. Right? They actually came clean. So I assume the 20 players that were arrested didn't come clean. 17 players that weren't not named did come clean. That's why.
Okay.
That's what I'm assumed to happen, right? I mean, but I don't know that for sure because the story hasn't been covered since it came out because nobody wants the story covered. And that's again, I just don't like the the way we're going here, because I just don't think it's good in a way. And I didn't think I would miss Real Sports and Outside the Lines as much as I do, but I really miss those two.
I got to say, Real Sports, every time I watched it, I would never think about it. But then when a new one would pop up, I'd watch it, and every time it was the best episode they've ever done. Like, every single time, even if it didn't seem like I was going to be interested in it, wherever they went in the world to cover, it was just cool, interesting. It was essentially 60 minutes, but it was for sports. And it was just fantastic. That was a great show. Again, I was more impressed every time I saw it. You know what else is like that for me? This is totally different, but I'd never think to watch South Park. But every time I stumble across an episode of South Park and it's a new one, I cannot believe how fresh it is. Like, there's a story on the news, in the news, and then the next week, that episode is about that story in the news. It's unbelievable how quickly they turn it around. So that's another one that I forget about. It's still there. I know it is, but I never watch it. And then whenever I do, I'm like, I cannot believe how good this show has been for as long as it's been this good. It's crazy. All right.
We got this far, and we didn't even talk about Brady because we can. But I will say we didn't.
You gotta go?
I am happy. No, well, I am happy with the defensive coordinator Jim Leonard, just because I think that his philosophy is the same as our philosophy, which is, Brad, you're coaching, Little League basketball tonight, let's say, and what defense are you playing? Your answer should be, well, it depends on who my opponent is. It's gonna vary. It could vary. I could be playing a 3-2. I could be playing a 2-3. I could be playing man. I could be playing a diamond 1. I could be playing a triangle 2. I don't know. Tell me who I'm playing. It always bothered me that the Bills would be playing the Ravens and Teron Johnson had to be on the field and just getting his face smashed in because that's the defense that McDermott ran. We got to have Teron Johnson's one of our best 11 players. I don't see that going the way Jim Leonard did, and I know McDermott did less of that this year. And ironically, he might have had his best year defensively because he did more of what I'm talking about this year than he ever did before. Ironically, and in a way, he had his best year defensively, but still, over the length of his tenure, he did more of the other, which is play the defense that we always play, and that always bothered me, and I don't think you're going to see that with Jim Leonard, so I am happy about that. And I think the next couple of months is going to be terribly interesting when free agency and, who you can keep and who you can't keep, and, what players are going to be fitting into a systems. So this is going to be a very interesting next couple of months for Bills fans.
All right, well, we'll talk about it every week then. How about that?
How about that? And lastly, this is just stupid. It just takes 2 seconds.
Okay.
But the Olympics are starting on Friday. Why in hell would you do a downhill event a week before the Olympics and Lindsey Vonn gets injured in that and is probably, I don't know if she's going to be in the Olympics or not, but it's a severe question. Is it dumb to have a downhill event a week before the Olympics? I mean, it's just, to me, mind-boggling that they would even have it.
I don't know. I mean, I don't mind, like, a practice round of golf seems safe to me. Anything that involves hurtling down a mountain, to me, seems unsafe and like you'd want to preserve. But I mean, I don't know how often, how much do you have to get a feel for that particular I've never skied. If you ever see me sliding down a mountain, that's an accident. I'm not doing that on purpose. I would never do it. But I don't know how training goes. Like, do you have to ski that mountain before you can ski that mountain competitively? I don't know.
I don't think it was that mountain. I don't think it was that. It was a different event.
Oh.
Wrong mountain. That's what I'm saying. It was a different event and a different mountain.
Oh,
if it was that mountain, I would say, okay, well, it's a practice run on that mountain. That would make sense. I think this is a totally different event that was in a different country, a week before. So that's where I think it was just
fair enough. Yeah, no, it's
okay.
Well, and it's like the athlete whose name I know. Of all the Americans that are going to be competing, that was the one. I mean, I'm going to tune in the same way that I always do, which is, what is it tonight? Okay, I'll watch this. I like it. I don't live and die for the Olympics, but I'm in. It's fun. It's fun when it's around. So looking forward to it getting rolling. All right, thanks, Bob. Talk to you next week.
You got it.
All right, there goes Bob Gaughan, who will be on the radio tonight calling the UB basketball game. Who are they playing tonight? Let me check. I don't want to screw that up. I'm sure it's a conference game. UB Bulls basketball. And I know this because I wanted Bob to come on Brain Vault, but he can't come on Brain Vault because he's got a UB. Oh, Miami. Undefeated Miami tonight. Oh, good God. Why did I not talk about that with Bob? 23rd ranked team in the nation, and UB gave them a run at their place in Oxford a couple weeks ago. Went to overtime. Both teams, it was like 105 to 102 final. But they remain unbeaten. They beat Northern Illinois over the weekend, and they will take on the 14-8 UB Bulls, who had a little bit of a rough stretch. I think they lost 5 in a row. But they have won since then, so they're not on a losing streak. I don't have all of it in front of me, but they take on number 23 Miami tonight, which if you're not attending Brain Vault and you're not watching the Sabres, you should go to UB. These are 3 excellent events all happening the same night. Sabres are on the road at Tampa, 7:30. Bulls take on Miami at 6:30, and Brain Vault's at 7. Brain Vault, thecasbuffalo.com for tickets. Quick time out, then a guest will join us from California. How about that? Why California, you might ask? Well, is there any event coming up on Sunday in California? Yes, there is. And we'll discuss that in just a moment. Stick around. I am Brad. It is Riter Radio, episode 257. Thanks to Bob Gaughan for joining me. Am I on until 12? Yes, Jeremy, I am on until 12. Music. BRB. It's Riter Radio. Totally random, totally different from what we do on the show typically. I only talk to people that I 100% know. Like, they're all vetted, they're all cleared, they're all my peeps. But sometimes I get a message from a friend of mine. Might be named Frank Leary. And he's like, Teresa Fortin Barnes is going to the Super Bowl, and she's like our selected fan to go to the Super Bowl, and you should talk to her. And I said, I think I know her. I know her face. I know her name. I don't know. We're just going to talk to her, and we're going to work through it. Teresa Fortin Barnes, what's up? How are you? Welcome to Riter Radio. How is California? You're in California.
I am, but first of all, Brad, our paths have crossed. We just have to figure out where and when, because we both have been around for a long time. So
I know. We're old and we know each other somehow.
Yeah, we know each other.
But we don't know how.
I'm in California. I got out here Sunday night. I'm the Buffalo Bills fan of the year, full paid trip to the Super Bowl. So I'm very excited.
How cool is that? How do you become the fan of the year? How do you decide who you're taking with you? How's that work? And what do you get out of this? What's the deal?
Yeah, so you have to be nominated. So one of my good friends, Danielle Suppa, she nominated me, and she's the one I'm taking to the Super Bowl. But she nominated me last year. I didn't get it last year, and then she quietly pushed it for this year. And it's all voting. It's not all about voting. The Buffalo Bills has a team. They decide who gets their fan of the year, but they really look at what you do off the field per se, but away from tailgating, away from your Buffalo Bills fandom, and what you have done for the community. And I've been doing things in the community and raising funds and awareness for good 40, 50 years of my life, because it was instilled in me as a child to really give back to my community, and I'm honored that I can now represent our team.
So tell me what you've brag a little bit here, Teresa, about what you've done that allows you not to get nominated, because I think anyone, your friend can nominate anyone, anyone can nominate their friend, but you won, like you beat out everybody else. Brag a little about the stuff that you've done that allowed the Bills to confidently say, Teresa Fortin Barnes is our fan of the year.
Yeah, so it goes back to a lot of different things I've done over the decades. Besides being a diehard Bills fan, we already know that, obviously. And I started and run the Water Buffalo Club that has over 88,000 members and growing every day. But I have always volunteered as much as I possibly can, but I've started charities before I started Carvings for a Cause, which was when the October storm happened. I got the trees that came down and had them carved into famous figures because I was devastated at what happened to our community and wanted to do something with some of the trees. I also started Gear for Good, which we now collect Buffalo Bills gear, get it cleaned by Colvin Cleaners, complimentary, and then we distribute it to different charities that will push it out to their people that don't have the means to buy Buffalo Bills merchandise.
Yeah.
27 years I've sat on the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame, and I was president of the Sports Hall of Fame, longest tenured president of 5 years, and the only female, I might add. So you're asking me to brag. Here I go.
I love it. I've got 17 questions based on everything you've just said. Because I remember the wood carvings. Do you remember when when Thurman Thomas got stolen? There was a Thurman.
Oh God, do I ever?
So
yeah,
I went
from the tailgate.
Yeah, I know. I was at the tailgate and I thought I was going to be a suspect. And my now wife, then I don't know if she was a girlfriend or a fiance or a wife yet, but I think she was probably just a girlfriend at the time. But I have a picture of her next to Thurman, and then the next day it was like, this thing has been stolen. I was like, oh no, because we are suspects. Like she was the last person I think photographed with the statue, and it came back. Everything turned out okay. People drink it, Bill. I don't know if you know this, Teresa, but people sometimes consume alcohol in the parking lot at Bills games. And I think it was just a drunk, let's take Thurman home. And they took him home.
It was a bunch of Canadian. Yeah, it was a bunch of Canadians that took it up to Canada.
Stupid
and
Canadians.
I'll tell you, my phone blew up the next day from ESPN to Fox Sports to CBS Sports. And I'm like, it was crazy. But the guys gave it back. They just thought somebody left it in the parking lot.
Right.
And they decided just to take it to Canada. And that was okay. And we got Thurman involved. It was pretty funny. So, yes. You do remember that. That was a good story.
Yeah. That's a long time ago, and that was crazy. I'm glad they didn't take actual Thurman. They just took wooden Thurman. They gave him back. Everything's fine.
Exactly.
I think that accidentally through this conversation, if we talk for 5 more minutes, Teresa, I think we're going to realize somehow where we know each other from, because both of us know that we know each other, and that's what's
I know
so crazy.
I know.
But all right, so. You're there. How's California? Tell me about that. You're out there.
Lovely.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah, looking out the window of the hotel, looking over at the Golden Gate Bridge over there in the water, and all these beautiful buildings and blue sky and 65 degrees. I can't get much better than that. So
you see the Golden Gate Bridge out of your window?
Yeah.
Ah, damn.
I know.
Cool.
Thank you, Buffalo Bills.
Is this your first time in San Francisco, or have you been there before?
No, I've been here a few times. I got a bunch of friends that live here, but I haven't been here probably in 15 years. So it's fun to be back.
All right. So what's the experience like for you? So you're nominated as chosen as the Bills fan of the year, but I would imagine there are 31 other people just like you. Is there a contest that's still going to happen where you're trying to win something, or are you just experiencing it like the other 31?
No, I came out early, so I came out Sunday. I come to different Super Bowl cities, which I love. I got the bug when Jim Kelly was taking me to the Super Bowls to run his parties. Actually, I've been helping Jim with stuff for 40 years. So I did his wedding, I did his retirement, I did his Super Bowl parties. We don't have to go there, but
this is fun.
So. Yeah, I love coming out to a city early before all the craziness starts, which usually starts on Wednesday. But the one big thing this week that's different for me is the honors event is Thursday night. That is the award ceremony. That's like the Grammys of music, right?
Yeah.
This is the honors of the NFL, and this is where that's where Josh got his award last year.
Yeah.
So all of us fans of the year, which we are known as FODIes, are going to be there, and one person will be selected as the ultimate NFL fan of the year, and that's what people can still vote for. Yep, they can still vote for me to win that.
How?
It's not all about vote. Just Google NFL fan of the year, and it pops right up, and you'll see all of our pictures on there, and you'll see Buffalo Bills, and then the picture of me, and you can vote for me as many times as you want, for that matter, too. So that's going to be interesting to see who wins that Thursday. 32 of us, and it's not all about voting. It's about what you've done off the, off
Yeah.
the field, of course. And so I think my resume speaks for itself as well.
What? Again, this is me saying, "Hey, Teresa, just brag about yourself." But what makes you a better Bills fan than me? For example, like I don't consider I don't want to compete at all with I don't want to brag about it, but when I think about being a fan, all it means is I like a team, and then you do other stuff. I don't do other stuff. I just hang out and watch the team and root for them. And I you know what? I think I'm better than 80% of the fans, but I'm not elite. I think I'm better because I'm always optimistic. I'm always, I like everybody. I never want anyone fired. I never want anyone cut. I never want anyone traded. I like the team. I carry a positive vibe with me, which I think, again, puts me top 20%, but in no way competitive for fan of the year. What do you think, as a fan, and charity aside, like, what do you do? Do you feel like you're better than other people? That sounds insulting. That's the wrong way to put it. Why are you so good at this?
I know what
Why
you're asking.
Why are you so good at
Yeah.
this? I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm trying to be nice
No,
and
I
say
understand.
what is it? What makes a good Bills fan? I guess is the question. What makes a good Bills fan?
Never jumping off the bandwagon.
Yes.
Okay. Never. Excuse me, Brad. Never jumping off the bandwagon. I sat there. True. The last 17 years, every game in the parking lot, 3 of us maybe out there tailgating in sub-zero weather. And now we have thousands of people at our tailgate, but literally we laugh and think like, oh my God, 10 years ago, it was just us out here.
Yeah.
Maybe we'd get 200 people at the home opener, but it's really never giving up. And that's sort of my motto on life too. And that's how Buffalo is as well. And we're resilient and don't quit, because we are going to get a Super Bowl win. We are going to go to the Super Bowl. And I've believed that for my whole life, I've actually, for that matter. Even through the terrible years.
Now there's Josh Allen. So you're right now.
Yeah, right.
You were wrong. You were wrong before. We're right now.
Yeah. I'm an eternal optimist, so I always think we're going to win the Super Bowl every year.
Yeah,
but now
too.
at least I feel like we really do have a chance. So, but you know what? There are so many people that could be the fan of the year. I am so honored that they picked me. I didn't set out to do any of this thinking I was going to win the fan of the year. It's just who I am. It's in my blood. It's what I've known my whole entire life, and I will continue to do it. So it's just representing not only the team but your city, and representing your community and giving back in any way you possibly can.
So what are you stuck doing? Are there events you have to attend, or is it just the thing during the game that you'll be on?
No, so the honors event is Thursday night.
That's
so
right. Yeah, we did that.
Yep. That's on 8:00 your time, 5:00 our time. That's on Channel 2, I think. And so we will be there. They're going to announce the winner of the Ultimate Fan of the Year there. And then we have a bunch of other EA Sports party we're going to on Friday, and Madden's. Is that the same thing as Madden's?
Yeah.
FanDuel we're going to as well.
It's different. Yep.
Saturday going to Lee Steinberg's party.
Oh boy.
Saturday night might be doing Sports Illustrated party. I know I'm tired already.
This is awesome.
And then Sunday morning we leave at 10 a.m. our time, which would be 1:00 your time. And they bus us down to Santa Clara, which is like an hour bus ride. And they take us to some free party. And then they take us on the field. And then we enjoy the game.
All right. That's cool. Where do you
Quite
sit?
a bit. Yeah.
Where are you sitting?
Section 404, corner upper end zone.
They gave you a BS seat.
Every seat's a good seat.
I'm sure, but they gave you a bad one. That's not.
No, it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
Well, there's 32 of us plus 2, so that's 64 tickets they give away every year.
Do they treat the Seattle and New England fans or fans of the year better than they treat you because they're actually there?
No, not at all. But their teams they might have responsibilities with their teams to go do something. So
Ah, right. Okay.
one of them wasn't even too sure yet. She's like, I don't know what our team is going to want us to do. So,
How many Super Bowls have you attended?
well, I've gone to, not to say I've gone to every Super Bowl, but about 25.
You've been to 25 Super Bowls?
Out of those, yeah, about that.
Holy
About
crap.
that.
I
So
still
I
brag.
go every year. So
I still brag that I went to one and I didn't go to the game. I flew home the day before the game and it was
yeah, well, that's sometimes we do that.
yeah.
You know, if we don't go to the game, we come home. Like last year, I went to the game. I forgot where I didn't. I don't think I went in Arizona. I can't remember, but yeah, I don't go to every game.
All right. Have you done? Did you do?
It's so fun.
Did you do Radio Row? Do you know? Are you familiar with Radio Row?
I am on my way to Radio Row to do 2 interviews there. One with my alma mater, which is Ithaca College, and one with St.
nice.
Bonaventure. And then we're going to walk around and check out. You know, we're going to try to find a bunch of the radio shows that we love. I've gone to Radio Row many times with Scott Birchtold, who used to be with the Buffalo Bills,
Yes.
and he used to run Radio Row. So I used to get passes from him. He's a good friend of mine. So I know Radio Row really well. I'm very excited. So we're headed over there right now, actually.
That might be how I know you, is through Scott, because that's a connection, a mutual connection. We'll figure it out.
One.
At some point. We'll figure out how the hell I know you. We know each other for sure. So I went to one Super Bowl, and it was Rams Patriots when the Patriots dynasty got started. And I remember specifically sitting with John Clayton, RIP, deceased a couple of years ago, and he was
a good guy.
He was awesome. And I used to talk to him on the phone. He was my favorite radio guest because he was so trustworthy. Like we're about to start a show, or we're about to start the segment. 10 seconds from now, we need John. Call his number. He will answer. He will be on. He was awesome. And I had him, and it was the first question I asked him. I wish I had it on tape. I don't. I said, do the Patriots have a chance today? And this week. And he said, no. And they won. John was wrong. John missed on that one.
Not always right?
Yeah. I hate the Patriots, and I can't wait to watch Seattle beat them 43-10. Like that's going to be awesome.
I agree with you.
Right?
That was like last year. Everybody asked me, what was your favorite Super Bowl? I said, the one that last year, and well, first of all, I feel like every Super Bowl should be in New Orleans. But anyways,
agree 100%. That's where I was.
Yeah,
the one I'm talking about was New Orleans. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And watching KC get crushed last year was just so awesome. I felt like it was like our Super Bowl win.
Yeah. No, and I feel the same. Like you go in, honestly, you're representing the Bills. What are you wearing to the game? Because a part of me says Josh Allen jersey. Part of me says Darnold. Like anything anti-Pats is right to me.
No, my fan of the year jersey that the Buffalo Bills gave me that we had blinged out by Lindsay Vito, I'm wearing it right now. I'm wearing it to Radio Row, and I'm wearing my hat, and I'm wearing what I wear to every game.
All right. So
go Bills.
Yeah. All right.
We're not in it, but we're always go Bills.
We are go Bills. How do you feel about the coaching switch and all that crap that's happened in the last week and a half?
Yeah, it's sad to see anybody leave, but I'm excited about Joe Brady and what he's bringing in already. So I think it's going to be an exciting year and a new stadium and everything too.
I feel the same way. I'm sad for McDermott because he didn't have to leave, but something had to change.
I know.
Something had to change, and if that's the decision, then that's fine. I don't operate at a high enough level to be able to tell you what we should do and shouldn't do, but we could not watch this team go into next season as the exact same team. Like something had to change.
Yeah.
And if it's this, then that's cool. And as sad as I feel for McDermott, like he did so much for this team and the city and the community, the Bills Mafia, all of this crap. He did so much, but something slightly had to change. And if this is
Yep,
it,
I agree.
I feel so much better after watching Brady's press conference and then watching him on like the
Yep.
McAfee show and hearing Josh talk about it afterward. Like, I feel okay. I feel like I feel right. Like something had to be tweaked, and it was tweaked.
Yep, it
And
feels good. I agree.
Yeah, it just sucks. It sucks for Sean McDermott because I feel like he did everything to make this happen. But it's time. This team has to win a Super Bowl with Josh
Yep.
Allen as the quarterback. That's the best player I've ever seen play football. He's on our team.
I know,
He's
amazing,
committed.
right?
It's time. We have to do it. So they had to switch something. So I have come away from the last 2 weeks of, oh my God, McDermott's fired. Oh my God, what are they going to do? To like, okay, fine. Same basic construction of the team, and a little just a vibe tweak basically is what happened, and I feel good.
I agree 100%.
Awesome. All right, Teresa, enjoy the game. Enjoy your stay in California all this week because it's cold here. I don't like it. I'm talking to you right now
I know.
with my hood up on my sweatshirt, just sitting in Buffalo. I'm cold. I don't want to be cold. You're not cold. Good for you. Congratulations. Enjoy. Have a good time. Thanks for taking the time to talk to me. Congratulations on being the Bills fan of the year, and we'll talk to you soon, and we'll figure out how we know each other somehow.
For
Someday.
sure. Absolutely. And as always, go Bills.
Go Bills. Thanks. Bye.
You're welcome, Brad. Thank you. Bye-bye.
See ya. All right, let's bring it back for a few minutes here. It's Riter Radio. We're past noon, but it's just the way the show fell today. Surprise appearance. What's going on here? Oh, my headphones aren't loud enough. That's it. The microphone's fine. Headphones are not. That's all. Okay, we're solved. Problem solved. Surprise appearance from Bob Gahn. Recorded interview from yesterday. It all just that's just the way it worked. So now we went through the 12 o'clock, which is where the show usually ends. But I didn't know I was going to end it on the recorded interview, so I decided I'm not going to end it on the recorded interview because I didn't say goodbye. If I don't properly say goodbye to you, I feel like your day's going to be incomplete. You're going to get mad at me. You're going to not come to Brain Vault tonight at the Kaz. Tickets available at thekazbuffalo.com. Episode 2 of many tonight. Tim Graham will be there with me. I believe he's the only other featured person on the stage. Last week we had Tim and Jeremy White and Greg Bauk. This week, just him. I think. Something could happen between now and then that adds somebody, but that's not the plan. That said, when I do have a guest on there, I tell them don't prepare anything. So even at the last minute, I might find somebody else that wants to hang out on stage with Tim and me, and that'd be fine. But as of right now, the plan is me and Tim and you in attendance. And they're running a special where if you buy tickets for tonight's show, you will also receive a code that you can use to get a free ticket for a future show. So really, it's a 2-for-1 type of situation. You buy 4 tickets tonight, you'll get, I don't know if it's one code that you use 4 times or 4 codes you use once. I don't know. I don't buy the tickets. I sell the tickets. I push you to the website, thekazbuffalo.com, to buy the tickets. That's your job. I'll do the show. I'll wear something nice. I'll trim my beard again. Make sure we're looking prim and proper for the stage. So that's tonight. Very excited about that. I just opened up ESPN.com. That used to be a thing. It's kind of funny. I remember this is like 20 years ago. I remember somebody told me, my buddy Sean, said, "Do you realize that there are people? Not everybody goes to ESPN.com. Like that used to be a thing, right? Your starting page or your launch page, or I don't even remember what homepage, whatever you call it. But like if you just open up Chrome or Internet Explorer or whatever, Mozilla Firefox, you had it set to go to the thing that you use the most often. And I don't really, now I just open, if I open it, it just takes me to Google, which is fine. You can get anywhere from there. But it used to be like, that's what I thought the internet was. ESPN.com was the front page of the internet for me. And I probably should go there more often because I'm seeing all kinds of things that are interesting to me. There was a goalie fight at the Stadium Series. Bruins and Lightning were playing outdoors, and the goalies fought. That's fun. Also, lots of stuff going on as we approach the NBA trade deadline. I haven't mentioned that at all, but sources: Bucks countering trade offers for Giannis. Like Giannis switching teams as we get closer to the playoffs that's a big one, man. What we're hearing before the NBA trade deadline: latest intel on Harden, Giannis, AD, and interested teams. 2 days before the deadline, which players and teams are we watching? And so just that's coming. There is news here now from sources, and this is kind of funny because I talked to Bob an hour ago about the Belichick not getting into the Hall of Fame thing. And that was from sources because it's not official. Well, now it's sources that Kraft is not selected for the Hall of Fame class of 2026. So as we talked about, that process, all the voters, the 40 voters, had to say, pick their three favorites out of Belichick, Kraft, and three players: L.C. Greenwood, Roger Craig, and Kenny Anderson. Now, if we know Belichick's not in and we know that Kraft isn't in, does that mean that the other three are definitely in? I'm not sure. Let's see what the story tells us. New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft, like his former head coach Bill Belichick, was not selected for entry into this year's Pro Football Hall of Fame class, multiple league sources told ESPN. This is a report from Adam Schefter. Kraft, a first-time Hall of Fame finalist this year, did not receive enough votes from the 50-person selection committee. I apologize, 50, not 40. I had that wrong. I've been saying 80% the whole time. 40. They needed 40 out of 50 votes to get there. Did not receive enough from the 50-person selection committee to be included in the class of 2026, which will be announced Thursday night at the NFL Honors in San Francisco. Interestingly enough, the Hall of Fame's new voting requirements in 2025 helped pit Kraft against Belichick. Kraft was one of 5 finalists among contributors, coaches, and senior players who last appeared in a game in 2000 or earlier. Kraft was the contributor finalist. Belichick was the coach, with Roger Craig, Ken Anderson, and L.C. Greenwood the players. The 50 voters each pick 3 of the 5 finalists, and between 1 to 3 make it if they get at least 40 votes. If no candidate gets 40 votes, the top vote getter will be elected. A new rule also made coaches eligible 1 year after retiring instead of 5. Between 1 and 3 of those finalists will be inducted into the Hall, along with between 3 and 5 modern-era players from a group of 15 finalists. ESPN reported last week that Belichick fell short of the 40 votes needed for induction, setting off a torrent of criticism over the longtime coach's exclusion in the Hall of Fame's voting process. Kraft said in a statement last week that Belichick, quote, is the greatest coach of all time, and he unequivocally deserves to be a unanimous first-ballot Pro Football Hall of Famer. At least 11 people disagreed out of the 50. So he's out, Kraft is out, and then between 1 and 3 of those players will get in as, what do they call them, senior players. Roger Craig, Ken Anderson, L.C. Greenwood. So at least one of those guys will get in. Maybe all 3, maybe 2. Kraft's exclusion should end the speculation that voters' advocacy for Kraft was what kept Belichick out. It's also possible, in the opinion of some league sources, that the voting process contributes to canceling out support that any particular candidate might have gotten. Kraft said in his statement last Wednesday, whatever perceptions may exist about any personal differences between Bill and me, I strongly believe Bill Belichick's record and body of work speak for themselves. As head coach of the Patriots for more than 2 decades, he set the standard for on-field excellence, preparation, and sustained success in the free agency and salary cap era of the National Football League. He's the greatest coach of all time, and he unequivocally deserves to be a unanimous first-ballot Pro Football Hall of Famer. Come on, Schefter, don't put the same sentence in the story twice and make me read it like that. Roger Goodell echoed those sentiments Monday night and added that he thinks Kraft ultimately will also be a Hall of Famer. Quote from Goodell, Bill Belichick's record goes without saying. Same with the Patriots and Robert Kraft, who is also a candidate. They are spectacular. They have contributed so much to this game, and I believe they will be Hall of Famers. Except they're not. For now. So there's that. All right, there's something else on this ESPN.com. It's a pretty good website. You should go to it sometime. ESPN.com. Kraft not selected. Giants to hire Nagy as Harbaugh's offensive coordinator. That would be Matt Nagy, former Bears coach. Lindsey Vonn, quote, confident she'll compete at Olympics. We'll open that one up since we did talk about her with Bob as well. American skier Lindsey Vonn is confident she can compete in the Olympics beginning this week, despite the left knee injury she sustained in a crash 4 days ago. Vonn said on Tuesday the damage to her left knee was a completely ruptured ACL, bone bruising, plus meniscal damage. After 3 days of physical therapy and doctor's advice, Vonn skied on Tuesday. Said, my knee is not swollen. With the help of a knee brace, I'm confident I can compete on Sunday. So this is not obviously what I had hoped for. I know what my chances were before the crash, and I know my chances aren't the same as it stands today, but I know there's still a chance. And as long as there's a chance, I will try. I will do everything in my power to be in the starting gate. Okay, that's fun. It makes for a really good story if she's all right. And if she actually were to compete with the news of this injury seemingly devastating. I would imagine most skiing injuries involve being airlifted off of a mountain. But once you hear airlifted, it's like, that sounds like she's not going to be in the Olympics. But maybe yes. So that's cool. Clippers, Harden exploring trade. Bucks countering trade offers for Giannis. Let's see what that got any actual information in this one. With 3 days to go before the trade deadline, the market for Giannis has started to progress as the Bucks have submitted counteroffers to teams aggressively seeking a deal for the two-time MVP. Having been resistant to the idea of trading him, can you tell that his last name just popped up in the story and I don't want to do it? I'm not doing it. Trading him, Giannis. Throughout his career in Milwaukee, the Bucks have now shifted to actively engaging with a few teams concerning a potential league-altering trade. The Heat, Timberwolves, Warriors, and Knicks are among the most active suitors for a deal. Sources told ESPN the Bucks dropped a fifth consecutive game with Sunday's blowout loss to the Celtics, falling to 12th. Falling to 12th in the Eastern Conference. To part with the team's franchise player, Milwaukee is seeking a young blue-chip talent and or a surplus of draft picks in exchange. He has informed the Bucks for months that he believes the time has come to part ways after 12-plus years together. He's played in 30 games this season, averaging 28 points, 10 rebounds, 5.6 assists on 64% shooting. Currently sidelined with a right calf injury that he estimated would keep him out 4 to 6 weeks. The Bucks did not release an official timeline for his return. So that's, league-altering, I think is the right phrase there. Giannis on any team but the Bucks makes it, it's very interesting. Very interesting. Melo IG post hints at frustration with Cuse hoops. All right, I'll read that. Carmelo Anthony appears unhappy with the state of Syracuse hoops. He just wrote SMFH, shaking my head. He wrote under an in-game highlight on the team's official Instagram account during their loss to the Tar Heels. They lost 87-77. His son is on the team. Carmelo Anthony led Syracuse to its lone national title in 2003 and is the father of freshman guard Keon Anthony. Appeared to have a strong message following the Orange's 87-77 loss to North Carolina on Monday night. Fifth loss in 6 games. Adrian Autry's squad dropped to 13-10 overall, 4-6 in the ACC. It hasn't helped that the Orange are 363rd out of 365 Division I teams in free throw shooting. They're also at the bottom of the ACC in offensive rebounding rate and turnover percentage. All right. I think I'm done. That's all the stuff that was on ESPN.com that seemed interesting to me. And it allowed me to properly say goodbye and once again offer you the opportunity to go to thecasbuffalo.com and get tickets for tonight's event featuring me and trivia and Tim Graham and music. And we're going to take questions from the crowd today, adding in some new stuff here on episode 2. Now that I'm not worried about the technology part of it, I feel it's going to be a lot smoother afternoon as I'm getting set. I've still got some work to do to be completely ready for tonight, but I'm not afraid of it anymore. Last week, I wasn't afraid, but I don't know. I hadn't done it. Now I've done it. I can do it. We'll be fine. And I look forward to seeing you there if you can attend. And again, if you're buying a ticket for tonight, you will also receive a code so you can get a free ticket at a later date. Any ticket you buy tonight, you get a free one later. So you buy 4, you get 4. Cool, huh? All right, we'll see you there. I'll be back here tomorrow to talk all about it. And have fun. We'll see you tonight, see you tomorrow, all that stuff. This is it for episode 257 of Riter Radio. We're calling it a day. We're wrapping it up, and I'll see you tonight. Good? See ya.
What are you doing for lunch?
I don't know. I have a turkey sandwich.
We're gonna go around the corner. I think you should come with us. This is a great place.
I don't know. Okay.
We brought you a shirt.
You get out of here? Will you get out of here? Will you? Now, will you go to lunch? Go to lunch. Will you go to lunch?